Well, these are the important values that you know, give to your children. This is the most important part. Now, right now, at their age, until they become teenagers making their own decisions. I look back on our life, me and John, and I see my mother was always right. Pray about everything, no matter what it was. Small prayers about this and that, but consult with the Lord. He's not tired of hearing. He wants to hear from us. Why does it say in the Bible, pray without ceasing? That means continually. I don't mean kneeling down. I don't mean, closing eyes and this and that. You can be with the Lord in your mind continually. Mind is so capable. It's the best computer that there is that can remember things, store things, and when you need it, you can pull out and use it, that knowledge. And so I believe that the Lord has intention for us to enjoy life. He gave us the beauty. Look at this country, how beautiful. Look at Texas, the weather. We have warm. People are freezing some places. And when I remember how we had to depend on when the wood was delivered, when we had to go out and get that to warm it up, and you carry water from outside in to warm up, and all these things, it wasn't sure because that was the way. That was no other way in life. However, look at the conveniences today. And many times when I was buying even the furniture stuff, I always said, oh Lord, I'm sorry, I do love this. Is it okay? And for some reason I could see the Lord just nod, it's okay, it's okay. I don't know why I thought about this, and then when you do have something, keep it as best you can, because God gave you that. And people, oh, I have this. No, I'm going to change that next year. I'm buying something new. I don't like that anymore. Why? So this is something that this country has so much of, and so many opportunities in a political world that we are now in. God is in control. We worry about this party, that party, what I do. They are dishing out their negative and nastiness at one another for what? To improve, get themselves above that? For what? It is going to be the way Lord sees fit. The end has to come. The end will come through whoever the president is, whatever the regime is, the end is going to come. But it's going to be in God's term, not ours. And our responsibility is to pray for the leadership of this country, of our church, at large, but also those that carry the message of soon coming. They have a hard time, different countries. You can't go and preach and give, books, literature. It's not permitted. I remember in Yugoslavia, you have a Bible. My mom had the Bible, but we didn't have a Bible, John and I. So suddenly, my mother received from somewhere Bible in English with the pictures. And John and I, that was a sacred thing that we had. Sabbath comes, after we come from church, what are we going to do? Mom was always very tired, so she would say, I'll sleep just a little bit, be quiet. Okay. We understood that. And so my mom being seamstress, she had a round box and very nicely decorated, carved, and then in the colors, and so she kept buttons in there. Every time, you alter something, you take off the buttons, put the new ones and whatever. So the box was full of buttons, variety. Little glass buttons, a little bit bigger, some big buttons big, from the coats and things like that. We had the idea. We would play the church all over again. Whatever was going on in a church, we remembered, and so we are playing the church. So we had a round table by the window, and so we would kneel on chair, one on one side, the other on the other side, and we got the box, and we line up. All those buttons there, like a little bit bigger, darker colors, they were all pews. And all the smallest buttons we had, and glass and metal pearl or something, they were all children, right? First two rows, they were all children. and then the rest of it. And then we have a timble. My mom had 2-3 timbles. That was pulpit. And John is preaching. And here we go. We get that Bible. Now, we couldn't read English, but looking at the picture, we knew exactly what the wording is in the Bible. So we would repeat that. And so we would start with a prayer, we would sing quietly, but John would always preach. And I always remember, we got to the point in Daniel where it says time, times, and half a time. And I thought about it. I said, John, you can figure that out. I know you can figure that out, what it is. So this is how we grew up. Church was it. Bible was the source of information, whatever you wanted to know. And to this day, I remember that Bible, and I often looked at the Bible, book and Bible place, and I could never find anything what I remember what that Bible looked like. But almost every page, I had the verses from the Bible on the bottom, but they were in English, and then a picture. Beautiful. And so we would go through and, just recite all these things. And the child memory is so wonderful. You tell them, they see something, they remember. And John would remember sermons, what we heard. And then in the morning, what we did in the children's department, lesson, go through all that. And the habit was, you have a memory verse. And every Sabbath, you have 5, 6 memory verses that you always remember. You should remember all 7. And so you repeat that without looking in the Bible. And you see the classroom, I showed you the picture of this. That was the highlight. Oh, I know this. Can I recite this? So you don't wait until you're begged to do something, or if you have a voice beautiful to sing, you're not going to be begged, please sing. You sing, you volunteer. If they ask you for one verse, tell them, I'll take you all 2, 3. I know. That is the way it's supposed to be. That's the life that God blesses. Today we can do the same thing. There's no reason why our families would not be just like that. And you'll see the results. You see the results in the world, in their life. So you don't have to worry. Whatever you sow the seed now, it's going to produce wonderful things as they grow up. And they're going to be able to make choices that are better, and also distinguish which is bad and which is good. Because they were going to be exposed to other friends, business, or whatever they go to, but they're going to know the difference. And the value is going to stay there. And even sometimes, if it doesn't, because we have that rebellion nature, that we go out and we think, oh, maybe let me try that. Maybe it's not that bad. But after a while, we come back, because we realize, hey, that's foolishness.